Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
An Army veteran plots to kill white supremacists
At a rally in California coming up, how the man planned to do that and why he was targeting that group.
A man is behind bars accused of trying to rob this casino with an explosive device. I'm Cody Boyer. How Bozeman City Police say it started with a larger diversion.
Yeah, we all hate those annoying potholes here in Butte. I'll introduce you to the crew that's trying to get rid of them.
We all hate those potholes.
Be careful you don't fall in there, John.
Right, no kidding. Good morning to you. It is 6:29 here on your Tuesday. I'm Missy O'Malley with Chet Lehman, and our top story for you here. The FBI says an Army veteran arrested for allegedly planning a terror attack in Southern California went through a rapid radicalization, becoming an Islamic extremist.
Investigators say he was plotting to bomb a white nationalist rally in Los Angeles last weekend, but agents stepped in and thwarted that attack. CBS's Laura Podesta has more.
U.S. Army veteran Mark Stephen Domingo on Friday for plotting to bomb a white supremacist rally in Long Beach, California.
He allegedly purchased several hundred 3-inch long nails, specifically because the nails were long enough to penetrate the human body.
Investigators say the 26-year-old, who recently converted to Islam, was planning retribution for the New Zealand mosque attacks.
He was taken into custody after he took receipt of what he thought were pressure cooker bombs. They were inert devices provided by the FBI that posed no danger to the public.
The FBI first launched an investigation after noticing his internet posts. On March 3rd, he wrote, "America needs another Vegas event to kick off civil unrest," referring to the October 2017 mass shooting in Las Vegas that left 58 people dead.
Mr. Domingo said that he wanted to kill Jews as they walked to synagogue. He wanted to kill and target police officers or attack crowds at the Santa Monica Pier.
Domingo's brother says his family is surprised by the arrest.
Like anybody else, I don't want to assume a thing when someone joins a new religion. If anything, I thought it was a good thing. I thought maybe my brother finally found some sort of guidance in this world.
If convicted, Domingo faces up to 15 years in prison. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Now, Domingo was arrested on a charge of providing material support to terrorists. According to a criminal complaint, he had been planning since March to, quote, manufacture and use a weapon of mass destruction in order to commit mass murder.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad they thwarted that.
Absolutely.
In other news, a little white start to the day.
Yeah, it depends on where you are, but definitely dealing with some snow across the area, so slick conditions may be an issue as you're starting out. Temperatures into the 20s across most of the area this morning. There are a few areas dealing with scattered snow showers. Bozeman Pass definitely dealing with light snow. You can see a little bit of snow there on our Bozeman ICAM on the MSU campus trying to fall. Beautiful shot there in the mining city. It looks like we're going to be dealing with cool temperatures and wind as well as the snow, but we do have some light at the end of the tunnel. We'll talk about that light in just a few minutes.
Top local story for you here. A man accused of trying to rob a casino in Bozeman over the weekend appeared in court yesterday.
As MTN's Cody Boyer tells us, 27-year-old Jacob Michael Burritt is also facing charges of arson and possessing explosives.
According to court documents, Magic Diamond Gaming was not the suspect's first stop. Investigators say Jacob Burritt first visited the Petco a short distance away to the west, telling the employees there that they needed to call 911 about a possible shooting at the mall nearby. Surveillance cameras on nearby buildings up to this point tracked him here.
Kind of blows me away that anything would happen to this magnitude.
According to court documents, witnesses saw Jacob Burritt lighting a bottle on fire outside, then running in, demanding money. He then ran again.
We just kind of looked at each other and we said, I think we should get out of here.
Cindy Sayawasink was helping customers and preparing flowers for prom at her flower shop immediately next door.
We kind of locked our doors, make sure no one can come in that we didn't want to come in.
Businesses like Budget Bouquet around the casino were evacuated by police. Those working inside say the sight of panic through their front door window was not one they expected.
There was panic in the people that were out in the parking lot, the workers, and you could just tell it was a hustle bustle.
Police say they found a cologne bottle with a gasoline-soaked wick on the casino's counter and over $1,500 in fire damage. They also found a safe, moved but not opened. After a Gallatin County Sheriff's deputy found Burritt's car parked nearby, other deputies surrounded Burritt and arrested him. Court documents show that according to Burritt's wife, Burritt, quote, wanted to rob a casino in a similar fashion as his father had robbed a casino by creating a diversion nearby the casino and then committing the robbery.
And luckily it didn't go any further, but it just really odd.
Michael Churchill works near the casino too. He says police, including the Lewis and Clark bomb squad, worked quickly.
Really good to see that the police were on it and they had things directed in the right direction.
No one was hurt, and Burritt is now facing a possibility of over 80 years in prison if convicted on all charges. Mindy Stofflet, owner of Rethink Thrift across the road, says this was a situation no one along Huffine wants to get close to again.
Especially with that explosive. I mean, it's getting real. We just need to be more cautious.
Police add that Burritt was high on meth at the time, and they did find some of that drug in his car when they found him. I did talk to the corporate manager of Magic Diamond Gaming. While he couldn't go on camera, he told me that his primary concern was of the casino's guests and team members, adding that the staff followed all safety procedures, and he truly appreciates the quick response from Bozeman law enforcement. In Bozeman, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
6:35 now. We're going to shift gears to mining city headlines. The cold, snowy winter has made a bad year for potholes in Butte.
Certainly. And MTN's John Amy introduces us to the road crew who's been filling all those potholes.
It's that time of year when motorists in Butte are dodging potholes. And there's some big ones out there.
We've seen a lot more big ones this year than in previous years.
Butte's long, cold winter and heavy snowfall created the perfect conditions for potholes, and road crews have been busy this year trying to fill them.
The middle of March, we were able to start Durapatching, and we've done over 2,300 potholes throughout Butte Silver Bow. So we know we've got a big job ahead of us still to go.
The city has 2 machines designed to quickly tackle potholes.
If both machines are out and you're in one area that's real bad, you can pop off close to 500-600 potholes in one day.
So right now he's putting on this kind of black sticky emulsion, and then he's going to follow it by putting gravel on top. This way motorists can drive right over it as soon as it's done.
Every pothole to me is important, but I have priorities that I have to go to. I call them car swallowers or airbag deployers. Those potholes are a priority.
And they'll be at them for the rest of the year. In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
Now, people can report a pothole to the road department by calling 497-6565.
Also,
what they say, airbag deployers.
One pothole for every 15 people. I did the population numbers, those 2,300 potholes. There's a pothole for every 15 people in Butte. Back to the legislative news now. At the close of the 2019 legislature last week, most lawmakers and Governor Steve Bullock gave themselves a pat on the back for what they had accomplished during the session.
But the final moments also highlighted a political dynamic that controls the outcome on many key issues in the legislature. A split in the Republican Party between conservative and moderates. MTN's Mike Dennison has our story.
From Medicaid expansion to $80 million of infrastructure bonding to a bed tax increase to fund historical museums, a coalition of Democrats and moderate Republicans banded together this session to form the majority that passed some major legislation. But on many of those votes, Republican leaders who come from the party's conservative bloc voted no. In the Senate, leaders said that's how the process works, and that they realize the GOP has a diverse membership.
Very few people that get everything they want here, if any. And that's just part of the process, and that's how it's designed.
The thought process was to leave this session so that we're all getting along, and when we disagree, we shake hands and move on and call it a day.
But in the House last Thursday, GOP leaders had some different thoughts on the matter. Majority Leader Brad Cheetah of Missoula called Republicans two separate minorities in the legislature and chastised those who teamed up with Democrats to vote for higher taxes.
Montanans, I believe we could have done more. Despite there being 58 Republicans in this chamber, we are not the majority.
Also on the House floor Thursday, veteran Republican Representative Nancy Balance of Hamilton, who voted with the moderates on key bills, suggested that leadership removed her from an important fiscal committee as a form of retaliation.
I'm having difficulty understanding how a 40-year career in the finance industry, 4 times leading the Appropriations Committee, why I would be replaced by a freshman legislator.
But GOP House Speaker Greg Hurst says Balance had the power to reappoint herself and didn't, and he notes that the full committee later made her an ad hoc member. Republican leadership also made a last-minute power play to change legislative rules to give them unprecedented control over interim committees in the next year. But Democratic Senate Leader John Sesso of Butte saw a way to block it by moving to adjourn the session Thursday afternoon. That move succeeded by a single vote, 25 to 24, with all 20 Senate Democrats in favor and 5 Republicans. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
MTN News will have more in-depth look at the session results in this week's Face of the State on Sunday.
Back here in the Gallatin Valley, yesterday the Museum of the Rockies celebrated 170 of its active volunteers. Get this, together these volunteers have donated almost 30,000 hours of service to the museum and the community. Volunteers constantly working behind the scenes to make visitors' experience more enjoyable.
The museum would not be able to operate the way we do without all of these volunteers giving selflessly of their time, their passion, their energy, and their expertise in the fields that they bring to us.
Now, 7 volunteers received the Shelley McCamey Award for either 30 years of service of volunteering or over 10,000 hours served. 1 volunteer, Carol Amundsen, donated her time to the Museum of the Rockies for, get this, 47 years.
Wow.
Dave Swingle, by the way, has volunteered for 43 years.
Wow.
Absolutely true.
Incredible.
That's awesome. 90 years between the two of them of volunteer service alone.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Thank you for all of what you've done for the
It's
museum.
not just a volunteer job, it's a passion.
Absolutely. It's a way of life.
There you go.
No kidding. We have to take a quick break.